And here are the results. And so, what we found out in their interests, most of your employees, the most percentage was energy. That was the main health interest, ways to increase energy. A lot of employees reported waking up still feeling tired, carrying that on through their workday. And so that is one main interest. Another one that follows that is mental health outcomes. And these are the barriers. The biggest, if you guys can see this real big, huge chunk of beige yellow over here, is lack of time. And that goes to what Dr. Bennett was saying. Even me, as I was saying, as a super mom, I love to, one of my favorite sayings is, I don't got time to be sick. I literally don't have time to be sick, especially if I have to wait 3 months for an appointment, wait 30 minutes inside the wait room. Employees can relate. Lack of time is the biggest barrier that they find. And then next to that is getting started. How do I get started? Where do I get started? Then there is information overwhelm. And this is where Google comes into play. We'll get a symptom, and again, because we don't have time to get sick, we'll go to Google, type in all of our symptoms, and then before you know it, we've spent hours. And when I say we, I mean me. I've spent hours trying to self-diagnose myself and still ended up having to, you know, despite the waste of time and energy, still having to wait because I'm going to call my physician, prior, and just wait those however long to see them. And then surprisingly, 15.9% says that their care not being personalized is a barrier. And I just want to speak on this, and I want you to speak on this too, Dr. Bennett. We're going to stop right here before we go into the live coaching because this blew my mind. I honestly think, or I believe, because we are not used to personalized care, we really don't know what that is. And if we had a taste of personalized care, this percentage would probably be way higher than 15.9%. What are your thoughts on that?
I absolutely agree. And truthfully, I don't even know if I thought of it that way about people not actually sure what that means. And now that I'm thinking about it, like I've been saying that as a business strategy, but do the folks that I'm telling this to really recognize what personalized care means? So I do agree that number would be higher if they knew that they could text their physician, if they knew that they could get a hold of their physician in a couple of minutes to maybe a couple of hours, that that the physician knew their voice and you your physician's voice. I sometimes answer my own calls in my clinic and they will say, oh okay, this is Dr. Bennett, and just go because they know I'm answering my phone at that time. And so I do think the patients appreciate that, and you can hear just a change in their voice sometimes. So I absolutely agree with you on that sentiment. Not people know what that means. And also, and I'll turn it to my, I guess, medical brain on what personalized care means in general. So not just mean that, yeah, we know each other personally, but I know enough about you without you having to retell it to me every single time. How many of us went to the doctor and had to retell them your whole story? I was there too, I'm there too. Right. And I'm like, okay, it took me 10 minutes just to get through this because I've had to tell you 3 years worth of problems, right? For
Right.
my patients, and it's just likely true for most direct care patients, I see my patients on a routine basis. I'm seeing my patients every 12 weeks in some kind of way, shape, or form. Whether that's just a phone call check-in or televisit check-in. Of course, I request, I don't have to require, but request my patients come to see me once a year in general. So I'm seeing my patients routinely. We're discussing all of the ailments, yes, that they go through medically, but even some of the things that are just on their healthcare journey. whether that's, and we said somewhere in here, we talked about being tired, whether that's their sleep routine, whether that's their fatigue, whether that's their, mild headaches or wanting to lose weight, all these little things that you may not even think to bring up to a doctor because you guys are hitting on some major points that I get to work on a constant basis and a consistent basis with my patients. And that's truly personalized care because that's not hitting a checkbox, that's not hitting a policy that the hospital set out for making sure everybody get mammograms. That's truly taking what the patient wants to talk about and making sure I have dedicated time every visit to talk about such a thing. And that is personalized care. And that's different from every single patient that walks through my door.
Thank you for putting your MD on that. Now that was so